Hey guys, John Williams here, and this video is a little bit about my backstory. So part of my story is I've never met my biological father. I grew up in kind of a rough situation. My uncle was, by all indication, an alcoholic, a very abusive alcoholic at that. And so there was that to deal with, and especially as, like one of the significant male figures and influencers in your life. And so there was a lot of things you have to unlearn along the way. But my mom was amazing. My mom was one of those people who, if it needed done, you just do it. If the grass needed cut, you mow it. If the room needs swept, you sweep it. If the trash needs taken out, the dishes need, that was my mom, right? And you just do it. And my mom handed that work ethic off to me and my brother. So growing up, we lived with extended family, and my mom did the best that she could do to make ends meet. When she finally had the resources, she moved us out into government housing projects. And for me, that was actually pretty cool. It was pretty cool for us to have, me, my mom, and my brother. It was very cool for us to have our own place, and it meant a lot to me to be able to do that. Always proud of my mom. Always proud of my mom for the work that she did and how she tried to make things better. She always worked to make things better for us. And by all accounts, I would say she did that. My mom created a great life for us. And so along the way, I played a lot of basketball in high school and ended up transferring schools my senior year, where I met just a beautiful, oh my gosh, I was done. As soon as I saw her, I was done. I was like, okay, I'm not looking anymore. I'm good. I've found the one, kind of a thing. I would like to think she felt the same way, but maybe not, I don't know. But met Alexis and fell in love with her, dated her for several years, 4.5 years we dated, and then married after high school, married when she graduated. And it wasn't too long after we married, we both became volunteer youth ministers at our church. And close to a year later, we became pregnant with our first son. And so we have 2 boys, and I've served as full-time student minister for prior to launching Life That Counts for the better part of 15 years. And it's really in student ministry is where I learned that, we have an opportunity here to do some good. We have an opportunity here to influence in a very positive, in a very productive way. And for me, launching an organization like Life That Counts, this was the opportunity to put something into the world that was free of any type of, preconceived logo or notion or name or branding or anything like that sometimes religion can bring to it. Because I think if we're honest, we all know that sometimes our religious backgrounds or whatever church you attend can sometimes get in the way of a productive conversation. So I wanted to launch something that was free from that. It's still well-intentioned, still to add value, still to contribute, still to, honor, but something that could just be pure in the world without any strings attached. And so that's why I launched Life That Counts. Because I believe as a person that we all have the opportunity with our lives to do with our lives as we would like to do. And I believe that we all have or should have the freedom in our country to live whichever life we would like to live. There are a lot of people who put their head on their pillows at night and they go to sleep and they wonder whose life they are living. And I never wanted that. And I guess in many parts, Life That Counts is my expression to help liberate others and help others find whatever they would define as a life that counts. You know, I had a basketball coach, a dear friend of mine. He was my best friend's dad. And Steve said to me one time, I was going through a really rocky patch. It was just after I graduated high school. I was in a very low season in my life. And Steve said to me, he said, you know, John, he said, it doesn't matter where you're at right now. It doesn't matter the things that you've done. Where you are right now is where you are. You can't do anything about right now. Steve said, but he said, you can begin to do everything about where you're going to be 5 years from now. And man, for me, in that moment, like I got a vision. I saw who I wanted to be 5 years from now. I knew what I wanted to be doing. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to be married to Alexis. I knew that I wanted to have already started a family. I knew even what kind of career I wanted to have launched into. I wanted to serve in the capacity of a student minister. I knew that I wanted to do those things. I knew what particular type of college I wanted to go to and why. And I remember 5 years, almost to the date, of Steve saying that to me and me getting that idea for my life, because I was doing it. And I've always exercised or lived under the premise of, if I can do it, then I believe anyone can do it. And for me, that's not a humble expression. For me, that's an expression of resilience. For me, that's an expression of fortitude and staying power. I get asked all the time, and people will say, John, having come from the background that you come from, you know, having grew up with alcoholic, abusive uncle, having, you know, launched an organization, and, you know, you're not dead and you're not in prison. What makes you different? What makes you a person who's beat the odds? And I think I know the answer to that. I think the answer to that probably goes back to what my mom taught me, in that if it needs done, you do it. And for me, that's what I've always done. You know, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. And for me, at the end of the day, I believe that's a life that you can be proud of. And I suppose that's how I define a life that counts.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Life That Counts. Tune in next time for more insight with host John Williams.